Hi chat. Someone recently asked me what controller I use, and I was just gonna reply with the comment, but I figured it'd be a little more fun to actually show you what controller I use. Because it sucks, but it sucks good. Let's walk you through this. This is the Endeltron, a controller that I made that I use for every fighting game that I play. We'll get into that name in a little bit, but if you don't want to hear about any of this, you just want to know what controller I use, this is it. Before we talk about the cooler shit, let's just run through the basics really quick, really get you up to speed. This is not wireless. The cable is removable because of this Nutric pass-through. Look at that. It's just a basic printer cable, Nutric pass-through. You plug in a printer cable here, and it goes into USB-B, and then you can plug that into whatever, really. If we take a different angle here, you'll see that the keycaps are not actually the same size. I got these blue ones from Otterfruit. They're really cheap. I'll put them on screen if you care for some reason. These larger ones are the extra keycaps that just came with my keyboard. You know, they work, so I put them here. If you're wondering, this is the bindings I use in Strive. You know, they're a little cursed, but don't worry about that. The switches themselves are Gatoron Clears. They're my personal favorite in terms of feel, and they're also cheaper than most other mechanical switches, so it works out pretty well. The software this runs on is just GP2040 Community Edition, but every controller uses that, so it's not really worth pointing out. If you're wondering why the hell this controller even exists, it's because the local tournaments in my area run Strive on PS4s and PS5s, and keyboards don't work as proper controllers on either of those consoles, so I had to make this in order to compete. Another advantage is that the Gatoron Clears are a lot smoother and are easier to press than the Cherry Reds in my keyboard, so there's less input mistakes on my end. Let's go ahead and open this and show you some of the more interesting parts of the build. The microcomputer used in this controller is a Pico, and rather than soldering the wires directly to the switches, we soldered these Kali hot swap sockets on there instead. That makes it super easy to replace, remove, or just change the switches whenever I want to, which is useful because I go through a lot of cardboard boxes because cardboard boxes aren't very durable, so this just makes it so I don't have to redo the electronics every time. I just unplug stuff and then put it back in, and it works just like you expect. Something the astute amongst you might have noticed is that this switch doesn't have a red cable to it, so it doesn't actually do anything. That's not a design flaw, that is actually intentional. I keep this little bag here with a bunch of replacement switches and keycaps in the event that, you know, something breaks like mid-tournament or something, or I'm just chilling with the homies and that shit falls apart and turns to dust. But if I ever lose it or something, this is there to make sure that I always guaranteed have a replacement switch that is on the box itself. I know all of this seems a little goofy and maybe not super practical, and maybe you're right, but look at this cool clip I hit.